Reverend Zechariah Jackson from the church. So what's happening now? Again with Vice President for Public Affairs at Rutgers University in New Brunswick, New Jersey, Jeannine F. LaRue.
Yes, I am.
All right, okay. The third segment of this here, we want to talk about the course of our young people and what, I guess none of us could tell them what they should choose, but where are the empty spots that will almost guarantee them employment in the next few years as they mature?
There are a lot of positions open in the science area,
That's what the president said too.
Engineering,
Sure.
and it takes a lot of discipline to really get through some of those programs. In fact, it takes a lot for students to even be admitted to the School of Engineering.
Okay.
A lot of folks want to be lawyers.
Sure.
But the truth of the matter is there is no shortage of lawyers.
That's the truth.
And when they get out of law school, many of them end up doing something other than law anyway.
Yes, that's the truth.
There is, I know in my field, public affairs and governmental relations, there are very, very few African Americans in this field. And when I walk into the State House to do my job, there may be, out of 4,000 registered lobbyists, there may be 10 at most who look like me.
Wow.
So I think that one of the things that colleges and universities must do is sit down with students and guide them realistically into fields where they won't be disappointed.
Sure.
When they graduate from college, they apply and they're one of 200 applicants for one position.
Let me ask you this right here. Why so many minorities seem to go for business? You know, it seems like everybody I talk to have a business major, that they seem to, major or in business. So why is that over like a doctor or teacher?
I think some of it has to do with lack of academic advisement.
Okay. Is a business degree easier to get?
No, a business degree is no easier to get than to get a degree in some of our other disciplines.
Okay.
But I think when you think of the American dream and the American way, people want to either own a business or they want to work in a business.
Sure.
But what they've got to be counseled on, when you go into corporate America, or you go into even owning your own business, there are so many other skills that are required.
Sure.
And they can get those skills, acquire them, through other types of majors than just getting a degree in business.
Sure.
So I really think that might be because of lack of the appropriate type of academic advisement.
What about this here? And we're basically just talking about kind of like a crash course. I'm actually going to school and staying the course. Why so many of us that go to school and then I notice that we get a job in the summer and we don't seem to be able to find ourselves back in school? We seem to, you hear the story all the time, I'm going to go back, I'm going back, and then I often tell you, some of the young people, I say, well, once true life, real life set in, and
right.
You fall in love, you do this, that.
Right.
I mean, the ideal time is from 17 to 24, and then if you're going to go to grad or whatever, you keep on going. But to come out and then get a job, buy a new car, you know what I mean?
Right.
And a very expensive car, your chances of going back is very, very slim. And a lot of companies that hire these young people, they pull them in, I've seen it myself, and they promise them the world. And it's almost like they're saying, don't graduate from school, come with us, become a part of this company, we love you, we're going to take care of you. And then 6, 7 years down the line, they just kick them right out.
Well, it may not kick them out, but they run into a glass ceiling that they're trying to get through.
Sure.
And the real issue is you are hitting the glass ceiling because you don't have a degree.
That's the truth.
And those you're competing with who are here in this company have the degree.
That's right.
I think a few things happen with that. I think one of the issues is that whole immediate self-gratification. You already listed them.
Sure.
Car, real nice apartment, They can go into a furniture store
Sure.
and get some furniture and pay $75 a month for 10 years.
Yes.
For $500 worth of furniture, they end up paying like $70,000, and they don't realize it at the moment.
Sure.
But they want this American dream. They don't want to depend on a parent and grants and loans. But then what I believe that we as adults are obligated to do, and I talk to my grandchildren about this. You gotta let them understand, first of all, you're cheap labor for this company right now.
Yes.
You're cheap labor.
Yes.
You're bright because you were admitted to a college or a university.
Sure.
So everybody knows you're bright. You have a whole lot of potential, and so now they can bring you in, and they can start you if they convince you not to go back after the internship, don't finish your degree, they can start you with $26,000.
Sure.
But if you had a degree, they would have to start you with at least 45.
And a perk.
And a perk.
Yes.
Sometimes a perk.
Yeah.
But then some of these students actually come in and they accept this almost full-time status where they're just below the hours, so they don't get health benefits. They're definitely not in the pension fund.
Sure.
But they're saying, well, I'm getting a check every week. That's about $500, or sometimes $420, and they're okay with that.
Sure, sure.
So again, I think, Reverend, that it has to do with counseling them, connecting them. I have students, African American students here on this campus, come to me all the time. They either want to interview me, they want a session for advice, they email me back and forth. I'm on Facebook.
You're on Facebook, yeah, you're on.
They're back and forth on Facebook. And what adults must do, irrespective of our ethnicity, and I'm not just saying that black people aren't the only ones who care about young black students
That's the
to
truth.
get out of poverty.
That's the truth.
We've got to keep talking with them. We've got to keep counseling them and mentoring them and letting them understand you're not finished until you're finished.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
You're just saying to someone, oh, I went to college. I went to Rutgers. When I meet folks in the 30s and 40s who say to me now, oh, I went to Rutgers, I know they didn't graduate.
Sure.
Because usually when folks graduated, they say, I'm an alum of Rutgers.
Yes, yes, yeah.
And then when you ask them, well, what are you doing now?
Yes, yes.
They'll tell you what they're doing now. So, but you know what? I could have been much further along. I didn't finish.
Got distracted by the many different distractions out there.
Right.
And so what we're going to try to do is somehow bridge the gap and help them stay the course.
Stay the course.
But a good 80% of that is really them. We
It
can,
really
we can
is.
give, and I think that's what the three doctors really talk about. When I heard them a few years ago, that the main thing was, I know they all came together and they leaned on one another, which was good. The record "Lean on Me" is a good
That's
record.
right.
But the idea is that you really have to make up your mind, and there's going to be a level of discipline that you're going to have to gain, because I can't
And it's
do
not
it for
easy.
you.
And it's not easy.
You have to look at the pie later.
Later. And it's going to be there for
It's
you.
going to be there.
All you got to do is live long enough. You'll get there.
It's going to be there later. Wow. So is there anything else that you would like to talk about now?
Well, I just want to say that I appreciate the work that you are doing to connect with people and to get people thinking. There's so much out there on the internet that
Sure.
it's negative. And it's good that we can package these messages. And I would hope that your viewers will think about, because I have my motto in life, is that there are only 2 days that are important in your life. The first, of course, is the day you're born, and the
Yes.
second is the day you know why.
Yes.
And when you figure out that why
Yes.
and start working that plan, normally, if it's a good why, you're involving other people and helping to lift other people up.
Well, this university here has helped so many people lift themselves up.
Absolutely.
Over
We
the
graduate 10,000 every
Yeah.
year.
And I was reading last year where at Rutgers, at the Cook campus, I imagine call it, that they are growing food to help feed the homeless.
Yes.
And that's a good thing, because in January of next year, I'm trying to put together an assembly of people to talk about everybody planting a garden. I want about 200 gardens planted in Plainfield.
Beautiful.
Because they talk about how the vegetables are going up, and this, I believe that if we all plant a garden, I don't think that the stores would raise their vegetables, the price on this stuff. So
No,